But while you figure that out, I will do our intro. This is the second ever episode of Good, Better, Best, the bi-weekly podcast that I run every other Saturday. Original guest was not able to make it this week, so we transferred over to Chris, who was another person I wanted to get on here, 100%. Chris is an engineer, a survival game expert. He is a all-boys Catholic school survivor. Wrinkle brain, ape heart. This dude is a DM extraordinaire, the greatest DM. Matt Mercer, hold your fucking cookies. This is the greatest DM of all time. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, doing alright. How about you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm glad we could get this working out. I was worried that you'd sleep in over this, because that seems to be a common theme.
No, I was pretty productive today. I went and I did 30 minutes on my stationary bike. I took a shower.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a really good day for me.
I woke up and walked about a mile, and then I got back and was, because I'm fat, that's like, for me, that was like, fuck yeah. It was a good morning, you know. So,
Solid.
yeah, at least we're doing stuff. Me and you, both, out there doing things. And that's what I'm really excited about. But, yeah, so let's just, go right into the non-gaming stuff. Because we talk about games a lot. That's all we do on here. That's the only reason people even know about this channel, because all we do is play games. You're an engineer.
I am.
So I'm going to throw something at you. Good, better, best. We're going to do chemical, electrical, mechanical engineering.
Ooh, okay. You said electrical, chemical, and mechanical?
Yeah, I left civil out, because I don't know what civil means.
Civil is kind of a subset of the mechanical.
I feel like the other three had really good carved out places, and then civil was kind of there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna say good, electrical, better, chemical, best, mechanical.
Oh, I was going to switch those last two.
So my reasoning is just that electrical is cool, and I definitely do some electrical engineering, in terms of like how they incorporate with the mechanical aspects of things. So I still need to look at circuit boards. I still need to work with electrical flowways and things like that, and the components that electrical engineering entails. But I personally wanted to be a chemical engineer before I wanted to be a mechanical engineer.
I didn't know that.
And then I was like, you know what? Chemical's cool, but I feel like mechanical is more easily applied. Mechanical is kind of like the umbrella engineering that has a little bit of everything, kind of like the jack of all trades of engineers.
I can see that.
So, yeah.
That's real cool.
I definitely really like chemical, but mechanical has a obviously special place.
Did you take any like chemistry stuff? Cause
oh yeah.
You got a degree, right? You have a degree in engineering?
I do.
Nice. I didn't know you took a lot of chemistry stuff. I thought I was the only one in here that knew stuff about that. That's cool.
No, I took I took chemistry 1, chemistry 2. I took thermodynamics, which has to do with chemistry. I took heat and mass transfer. A lot of chemistry in that.
All right. So when I took the chemistry stuff, right? That class, like those classes, changed my fucking outlook on life. I don't know. It's like you can see the building bricks of life itself. Did you have an eye-opening? Is that a common occurrence? Like, did you have that too? Like, did chemistry open you up a little bit?
Mine wasn't in chemistry. Mine was in thermodynamics. Thermodynamics was kind of like the class that told you how everything works. Just you learned the building blocks of every little thing, how the world operates, the universe operates. It was crazy.
That's really cool. I don't think I ever took a class directly on thermodynamics. I know it was kind of in the background of everything we've done, though, honestly. That's super cool. If I had to put you in a category for like engineering stuff, I mean, your like logical outlook on a lot of things that we go through, I mean, mechanical just has to be it there to me. Like, mechanical definitely seems like the more logical of the other ones. Where I don't know if electrical and chemical can necessarily be considered like abstract or anything, but in terms of like, all right, this works because it just fucking works. That's where I would put you if I had to guess, but.
That's fair.
Your most recent and only stream. In all 3 pixels of it, you explain to us what the difference between a rounded corner and a sharpened corner was, or whatever the other one. I didn't listen very well, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed the lesson.
I guess I did. You were even like somewhat passionate about that. Is engineering like something you actually enjoy doing, or is it just a job? Was there something that like made you enjoy it?
I've always really liked how things work and kind of breaking things and putting them back together, mostly breaking things. But yeah, when I was young, I used to do stupid shit. I would like make smoke bombs by mixing chemicals together. I would.
That's a felony. Don't admit to that.
I would make tasers out of disposable cameras. Like I would do all kinds of weird shit that just like learning how things work, and I've always really liked that.
That's awesome. Your family's medical, if I remember right, yeah?
Correct. Yeah.
What made you go into like engineering? There was
like
no medical
people.
thing. Oh,
No.
well, that solves it.
No, so yeah, my family's all very science-minded. We're all very logical and kind of fact-based on like medical science, engineering science, like things that are like very hard and undebatable. So yeah, they like helping people and being more personable. I like machines because they do what they're supposed to. Humans don't.
That's fair.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very envious of the fact that you have like a science-minded family, because mine is fucking drugged out in conspiracy theories. So we're on very opposite spectrums with that. But that's really cool. That's really cool. It's probably pretty. Let me turn my volume down. There we go. What's your end game with it? Are you like looking to make piles of money and never work again? You trying to inspire young people to do engineering? You want to make nukes or something? Backyard?
Well, I mean the last one's already done, but
fuck.
No, I would say my biggest thing that I've wanted to do with engineering is going to either biomedical and kind of incorporate that the things that my family does. So like creating different machinery and incorporations between biological functions and machinery, like an artificial heart, artificial organs, all that stuff. How we're like able to 3D print muscle tissue now. That stuff is incredible to me.
Oh yeah, so cool.
Either that, or I really, really like space and just like astrophysics in general. I've studied a lot of it and really enjoy it. So I would like to do rocket science and like astronomy and stuff like that.
So is that the pursuit of knowledge or the pursuit of money that's making you want to do that?
I mean, a little bit of both, I guess. I would like to be financially stable, but it genuinely interests me, a lot of these things.
That's awesome.
And then at the end of all of that, I've always said that I want to be a college professor and try to pass on engineering knowledge.
That's cool. I know a lot of like the STEM professors and stuff that I knew when I was going to college. Always did like they did their own career, and then when they got into their old age and prime and stuff, that's when they went and did like professing and teaching and stuff like that. Similar thought process for you?
Yeah, I had geniuses for professors. They were insane.
That's awesome.
There was one who was famous for creating the hardest titanium steel alloy in existence, and it only just got surpassed like a few years ago.
That's crazy. I didn't know it was like a competition going on. I thought that was solved hundreds of years ago.
No, they're constantly coming up with new alloys and better ways to make things, and it's incredible.
That's really cool.
You would think that engineering is kind of like set in stone, but we're constantly finding new ways to do stuff.
That's really cool. I didn't know. No, I'm not very engineering minded. I don't know a lot of the stuff that goes on in there. I just kind of assume that ancient Greeks and whoever, ancient civilizations, like figured out a lot of shit, and we're just like making micro improvements to whatever they figured out. I didn't know we're still making like big jumps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool. I feel like engineering is like such a broad category. I mean, I guess it kind of bunched down into groups like what I did the good, better, best on. But it seems like within our friend group, you have a surface level understanding of everything, sometimes deeper than surface level, but like you cast a really wide net over things that you know about. Would you say that's what drove you to engineering, or a side effect of learning engineering? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah.
Is it chicken or egg?
Interesting question. Yeah, interesting question. I don't know if I have a good answer for you. I've always kind of really liked having a little bit of knowledge on everything and being able to like things that I find interesting. I like being able to have fun facts about. So I guess it would be before I was an engineer, and then just it kind of compounded once I was, and I actually started to understand a lot more things. So yeah, I guess it would be that I had the interest first and then developed it with engineering.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Good, better, best. Rust, The Forest, Minecraft.
You're gonna. I'm gonna get some flack for this. I've never played Minecraft.
Ooh, what? The
Yeah,
engineering, the epitome of engineer, the epitome of engineering, right? Minecraft.
I've never played Minecraft.
Wow. Let's play
don't know.
Minecraft coming up?
I would give it a shot, sure.
Fuck yeah. Alright.
So yeah, Minecraft obviously has to be at the bottom at good.
Fair enough.
'Cause I've never played it. Ooh, I would say better Forest, best Rust. Just
Yeah.
Rust has much more like in-depth systems put in place. I liked a lot what the Forest did, but it wasn't as fleshed out as Rust.
I guess I don't know if you watched the whole Holland interview last week, but I guess they're coming out with like a Forest Rust hybrid that's supposed to be pretty good this year, where it takes like a bunch of aspects of different survival and creative games and stuff and makes them into one, and it's actually a pretty decent studio behind it. He's pretty excited about it.
What's it called?
I have no idea. He told me to look it up, and I said I'm gonna look that up, and I never did. All right, Skyrim, Baldur's Gate, Witcher 3. Good, better, best.
Ooh.
This was when I wrote this, I was like, this is.
Yeah, so I'm a huge RPG fan. That's one of my favorite genres, along with RTS games. You said Skyrim, Baldur's Gate 3, or what was it, The Witcher 3?
Witcher 3, yeah.
Oh man.
All loosely connected by like fantasy RPG elements.
I love D&D, but I have to put Baldur's Gate at good because
Really? Okay.
It's not fleshed out yet. I need
You're
to
right.
see more. I need to see if they do better with it because right now it's cool, but they could fuck it up still.
True. Yeah.
There's a lot of room for them to go wrong, and I hope they don't. I hope it's like one of my favorite games of all time, which it very well has the opportunity to be.
Oh yeah, it's on track. It's good.
Yeah, I gotta put Baldur's Gate 3 at good. I gotta put Witcher 3 at better, and then Skyrim at best. I have so many hours in Skyrim, it's insane.
Yeah, it's a plague, I think. Skyrim just everybody I know downloads that shit like once a month.
I have it for Xbox 360. I have it for Xbox One. I have it for PC. Like
I downloaded it yesterday. If that has any sort of like relevance to what we're talking
Todd
about.
Howard way too much money.
And he's not gonna do anything with it. He's fucking. Did you see that teaser for the next Elder Scrolls?
Like 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, where they go over the mountains and go dot 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 dot, and then it says Elder Scrolls, and that's all we got. Like what?
Yeah. When Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, I'm gonna disappear for a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Can we take a few weeks off of D&D?
Oh, we're gonna take like months off, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. I'll be doing the same. So, anyways, all right. You told me not to ask you what your favorite game was because you don't know.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna ask you something much harder. You can take different aspects and systems from any game, any genre, and build your perfect game. What are you taking from where? What stands out to you immediately is like, this is the best of this system?
I feel like if you tried to put together all these different genres of games, it would be just an amalgamation of shit. That would not work, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. They'd have to kind of work together a little bit. Like, you can't have rusts. I don't know what you take from Rust.
Can I give you like favorite genre games instead? Like,
Yeah.
What are my favorites out of different genres? That kind of answers your question.
Sure. Yeah. We'll just combine them all and make an amalgamation.
Yeah. So RPG, my favorite RPG would be Skyrim for sure.
That's fair.
That's just the game of all games for RPGs.
I think so. Unmatched right now.
Favorite old school game, and I have just like stark memories of this from when I was young, was on the Sega Genesis entertainment system.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you taking from Sega?
Back when I was like really young, me and my brother, we would play games together all the time, and we would play Contra on the Sega Genesis.
Oh, Contra's sick.
And
all right.
we would just burn hours and hours and hours, and it was so much goddamn fun.
That's awesome.
That was like what first got me into gaming, was just playing old school games with my brother.
Yeah. Contra, that's good. That's a good one. Forgot about it.
It's so good. RTS, my favorite RTS. It's a hard choice between Halo Wars, Star Wars Galactic Battleground, and Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2.
Really?
Yeah,
no StarCraft or anything like that. None of the big ones.
I never really played much StarCraft. I played mostly console, and the only computer one was the Star Wars Galactic Battleground.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was just super cool because I love Star Wars.
I'm not an RTS person. I've played a few, and I'm talking like Age of Empires when I was in middle school. Like, that's about as far as I got into it. But I didn't know anybody liked that Halo Wars game. I thought when that came out, that was a huge flop.
Halo Wars 2, I think, was a flop. The
Is
first
that what
one
it was?
Good.
Got it.
I never played the second one. The first one was, I loved it.
Because if there's
obviously Halo. But
if there's one thing you tie Halo players to, it's not exactly being like strategic, smart players. So seeing a strategy game come out of that was just jarring to me.
Yeah, I could see that. Out of those three, I would probably say I got the most mileage out of Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2.
That's fair.
It was just such a cool game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I've never played it, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
I wish they would come up with like a modern Lord of the Rings RTS. I feel like it'd be really cool. But I feel RTSs have fallen out of favor. Super heavy in the gaming community.
Speaking of that, 2021, what game genre do you want to see hit? I mean, you say RTS has fallen out. Do you want to see an RTS game in 2021?
That'd be cool. I would like that. I haven't played an RTS in a while. I would definitely like to see a really good one come back into the spotlight. Elder Scrolls 6 would be great.
Keep dreaming. Not gonna fucking happen. We're not getting that game.
Yeah, not for a while. Burning Crusade, WoW Classic Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I heard you're a big fan of that one.
Where'd you hear that?
I don't know. Every fucking time we play anything, playing fucking Valorant, and you're like, man, these guns suck. The Hunter guns in Burning Crusade are so much better. What?
Unless you're Cloud and you just never pick up ammo.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, borrow it in the middle of the boss fight. Oof.
I'm trying to think of like another genre I would like to see in 2021 that's like a new game.
Fortnite 2?
No, absolutely not. I hated that game from the get-go. Can I just say, I absolutely despise Battle Royale games. Everyone is like going nuts for them for all throughout like 2019, 2020. I hate them.
I hated them. Yes, I'm on the same fucking page, and everybody I was playing games with at the time would play them, and I fucking sucked at them, first of all, because I think everybody does. You only one winner, pretty much. God, and that's all my people were playing, so I had to jump in.
I was forced to play 162 hours of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I hated every single minute of it.
I saw that. So I go through Steam profiles before I do these.
Yeah.
And I saw that you had so many hours in that, and I was like, I would have never fucking guessed.
I was forced to play it because all my friends would play it, and I hated every minute of it. I was decent at it. Like, I wasn't bad. I just hated the game so much.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I think we were kind of at a drought for fucking video games, so I think all the battle royales are quick to make because it's kind of simple. You just put a big fucking circle on the ground and call it a day.
Yeah.
PUBG I never understood. PUBG and DayZ, both the original like Battleground DayZ battle royale, right? I never understood those ones.
H1Z1.
That's what it was. There we go. Oh wait, are they the same game?
No. DayZ I think was the first. They like modded it or something, and then H1Z1 was actually like a dedicated battle royale game.
Gotcha. All three of those just felt so clunky to me. It was really unpolished, I guess, including PUBG. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
League of Legends you used to play.
I did. I played a lot of League
and
since
you
season 2.
Peaked in Diamond, I believe, right? Isn't that what you told me?
I peaked in my Diamond promos.
Oh, gotcha.
I got real sick of the game because it just wasn't fun anymore. It was like a chore.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that. I love the game. Always have, always will. Definitely didn't just get back into it a few days ago, but...
I liked League a lot. It definitely shaped a lot of my younger gaming experience. I mean, I played from Season 2 till Season 6 or 7, seriously.
It's a good time. That's like 6 years there. I mean...
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. D&D kind of takes over for a lot of my gaming content, at least lately. It's like the games I want to play. I mean, realistically, if they could make D&D into a game like a video game, I don't think I'd ever leave my fucking computer, honestly. If it was like
Baldur's Gate 3, it's pretty close.
Yeah, but it has an end, right? Whereas I feel like you can keep a campaign going for a very long time. It's hard to do, obviously, but I mean, you're kind of a subject matter expert in that. You've been DMing a campaign for us for over 2 fucking years now. First question, why are you wasting your time with us?
Extreme sadism.
That's fair, yeah. You know, that didn't always be a thing, though. We were talking about this. At the beginning, it was kind of like, oh, this is really fun. We should play D&D together. And now it's like, oh, I'm going to fucking cry today. Like, you shifted at some point. Was there a point where you were like, all right, we have them hooked?
Yeah. It's you know, the Stockholm syndrome. You gotta bait and switch. You capture them and you let them think everything's okay, and then you drop the bomb on them.
That's fair. Good, better, best. Heidel, Nortok, Arkham.
Heidel, Nortok, Arkham.
For those that don't know, these are the three of the places that we are either visiting or have visited in our D&D campaign. They fill different categories, hit different fantasies, but
yeah, for sure. I will say I've come up with a lot of very interesting content for Arkham because it's more culturally diverse than, say, Heidel, which is mostly like humans and elves. I've definitely had a lot more free reign to do weird things in Arkham.
Sorrower.
Vampire civilization, Sorrower, ancient like myths and legends that haven't really been looked into because the people are kind of superstitious. I've had a lot more freedom with that, where I've always seen Heidel as a bit more structured and kind of Anglo-Saxon European.
That's
so fair. It's a lot less mystery and wonder and a lot more structure and civilization. And then Nortok's very cool, but we haven't really explored it yet, so I haven't gotten a chance to fully flesh out a lot of my ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say for now, Arkham has definitely been really cool.
Okay. I can take
Oh,
that.
sorry, you asked good, better, best. My fault. So I'm gonna say good Nortok because it hasn't been fully fleshed out yet. Better Heidel because it's had some stuff and we started there. Best Arkham because we've had a lot more cool and weird things.
That would also be my rankings. When we first started playing and you're like, Arkham's kind of a desert. And I was like, oh, the fucking desert. How do you do anything fun in a desert? I think Arkham's been my favorite place we've been so far.
I'm glad.
Ymar, is that the other one? Yeah, Ymar. Ymar was cool, but we just didn't touch it enough, I feel like. Like, the whole northern part of it, I think, would have been pretty sweet. But yeah, Arkham, I mean, like you said, it's just like everywhere we go, there's some crazy something that we need to look into and, or can look into. And it's just, I think we've had a lot of character growth in that region more than Heidel. Heidel was cool, though. I really like the different, like, how the further north we traveled, the more fucked things got until we reached, like, the epitome, like the, I keep saying epitome. It's because that's how I wrote the word for so long. Yeah. How did you find the group? Like, it's been 2 years. You've been running us for so long. I mean, like...
yeah, you guys posted on Reddit, and I responded in the r/LFG, and I sent a message to you directly, Cody, and I said, "Hey, I am at the gym right now, but I would like to give you a pitch for my campaign. I'll message you by the end of the day."
And I said, "There's
like,
no fucking way this dude is at the gym and wants to play D&D. There's not gonna fucking happen." Like, who are we getting fucking scammed right now?
You went back to everyone else and you're like, "There's no fucking way this dude will ever message us ever again." And then I sent you a fucking like 2-page report on my world.
I was impressed. I mean, I was like, "This." I don't think I read it, but I was like, "This is cool." Yeah, background information on that. We had another DM that... So our group met just through like a random LFG, I think, on Reddit. And we played a campaign. It was my very first time playing D&D, like, real, I guess, with an actual campaign that wasn't something scummy or whatever. Different story for a different time. And we were enjoying the campaign. Our characters were working together. We were all like super friendly with each other. It was the first time where we had a group going, and that was super cool. And then our DM's like, "Oh, I'm gonna play WoW," and we're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to play D&D anymore." And we're like, "Okay, but all of our characters are trapped in an orc fortress on top of a mountain, and there's a druid, like an arc druid, that needs to help us down." And he's like, "Yeah." And then he left the fucking Discord. And all of us were just like looking at each other like, what the fuck do we do now? And I was like, I don't want this to end. So, do you guys want to stick together? And everybody agreed. Rika, Lex, me, Matt. And we're like, sure, we'll just track down another DM. So for a month, we fucking posted on Reddit and we got a few things, but it was like, I really want to try this module, or I really want to do this. And we're like, we kind of want to pick up with like something else, like do something that people actually want to play, something that whatever. And you're like, oh, I have a campaign that I wrote. And I was like, you wrote one? I didn't even know it was a thing. So this is like, this whole campaign spawned from a book that you've been writing, yeah?
Yeah, on and off.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten through some of it, but the original idea for the campaign that we're doing is I originally just wanted to write a story, and I had thought of it a while back. I fairly frequently used to write on Reddit r/writing prompts. So people post like little things that like premises to stories, and then you go and write a short story based on it within a short period of time.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know this was a thing.
I thought of a writing prompt based on one, and I was like, you know what? I could write a pretty elongated story based on this. And I started to, and then I was like, it would be kind of more fun if this world that I'm thinking of wasn't just an old ancient story, but it was sort of the premise and remnants of the world that was left over. I could run a D&D campaign in that. Which it was just around the time when I was like getting into D&D.
How'd you do that? How were you getting into D&D?
Yeah. So I originally got into D&D because I used to watch, or I guess I still do. I watch a lot of offline TV, the content creators that are all on offline TV, and Lily Pichu was doing a D&D campaign with this DM named Koibu, and I was watching, and I watched a decent amount of that, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. This seems like fun. I didn't realize that they were doing gritty realism, so a long rest was a week, and a short rest was an entire day.
Ugh.
So it was a trudge, and I was like, this is cool, but I feel like the game could be so much more epic if there weren't so many rules and stipulations.
Yeah.
And then I found out that there's usually not. And I started watching Critical Role, and I was like, this is a lot cooler. Koibu is still a fantastic DM, and a lot of respect to him. But yeah, that game that he was running for them was super, super gritty and tough. I was like, damn, this is rough.
So is this actually the first campaign that you've ever ran, or did you try it at one? Were there any trial periods, or was it just us?
So this was the first time I ever DM'd was for you guys. I was a player a few times.
Yeah.
First time I was a player, I just found a random LFG on Reddit and joined up. Lasted for like 2 sessions before just the players kind of got bored. The DM didn't really know what to do, and kind of just petered out.
Happens.
Second time was actually not 5e that I played in. It was a system that this dude just made up.
Fuck yeah.
And
I love it.
Yeah, he made it up. It was based on 5e, so it was kind of similar. And this guy basically posted an LFG, and he was like, hey, I'm looking for 2 people to come and play with me. I'm gonna DM, I'm gonna do some weird shit, and just like try to figure this out. Who wants to come figure it out with me? I was like, fuck yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So I joined him up. His name was Iso, and he's a big inspiration for a lot of the DMing style that I took on, and a lot of my love for D&D. He was just the greatest DM. Anything that you wanted to do, he would find a way to let you do it. And
that's really cool.
Amazing. He would come up with new systems, and I would talk to him. I'd be like, hey, I know that this is not really like a big magical world, and then it's more like it was a lot more like Cthulhu-y. It was very much like Eldritch Lovecraftian horror type of game. And I was like, hey, I know there's not really much magic, but there's kind of like Eldritch and like weird stuff like that. Could I do something along that lines to try to make my character a little bit more into the weird and like magical aspect of things? He's like, yeah, absolutely. And he next session gave me like a book of runes and things that I could combine in different ways and try to figure out spells.
That's really cool.
Kind of like what I was trying to do for you guys at first.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I was saying. I can definitely see the tie there where, like, something like that could be an inspiration as to what you've done for us, because there's been plenty of times where I've done it, so I imagine other players have done it too, where it's like, hey, I'm having problems with this aspect of my character. Can we do this? Can we try and make something happen here? And then you'll be like, oh, we'll think about it or something, and then the very next session, you'll be like, in a dream, something comes to you, and I'm like, oh, shit, that solves the character issue I was having. And, like, obviously it's more, nuanced than that. But addressing, like, character concerns like that is something that's completely fucking admirable. So thanks, ESO, if you end up watching this sometime in the future, for shaping Chris into a DM that's actually fun to play with. But
I also ripped off Nelfa from him.
Oh, no. Nelfa, no!
Nelfa, I love him.
You've mentioned a few times, speaking of Nelfa, who's early on, you've mentioned a few times that, like, because this was your first campaign that you were DMing, like, early on you had some stuff that you would go back and change. But, like, from a player perspective, there's nothing I can look back on. I was trying to last night that I'm like, oh, that's a glaring issue that he probably didn't mean to do, or that he shouldn't have changed, or that he wouldn't change. From my perspective, everything ran, like, in a very normal fashion about how it would logically, like, go to the next step. What would you change if you had to go back, or if you could go back?
Well, first, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just a lot of my early DMing style, I felt like was a little bit too ham-fisted, and a big, I guess, indicator of that would be the sort of murder mystery intrigue that I first tried to do in the beginning of the campaign with Xenon, and I felt like it could have been handled a lot better, and a lot of things happened that I would say was probably more my fault than the player's fault, just like based on direction and information that was given. I didn't really fully understand how to like set things up correctly. Right. But I kind of rehashed it and did a different murder mystery later down the line with the Bauteurs and the whole Bauteur Manor thing. And I felt like I played that a lot better. I feel like I did a lot more background information and like things that I knew that you guys didn't know, and tried to play with that a little bit more than when I did with Xenon.
Trying to think back about Xenon because it was so long ago at this point. It was like 2 years and fucking a month ago. 2 years and a month, 13 months ago, or 25 months.
There you go.
Holy shit, 25 months. I don't remember much about it outside of like us being intrigued but not really knowing where to go, I guess. And like I remember we walked into, obviously I'm not gonna recall the name, I don't even know why I'm fucking trying, the chick's house, that like one of the students or something that was there but wasn't working or something. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name. I'd have to look
Fair
it
enough.
up.
We went to her house and I don't think there was a reason to. I think like we went in there and she's like, I don't know anything, and we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of just, I would say that's more my fault, because I gave you guys like information but not useful information, and I feel like I've gotten better with that, where I'll give you guys useless information just for fun that you guys will then take and do stuff with, and I find it hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like I gave you too much useless information and then no useful information. so you guys would just be bumbling around with like all of these things. You're like, is this a plot hook? Is this a plot hook?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is just like background info and description, and it was hilarious. But I was like,
that's funny.
I think I need to give them more like useful things to work with.
What about the Adrid opening the fucking mechanism in the fucking lab? Was that a mistake or not? Do you like how that played out from today's perspective? Cool. I think it was cool too. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I think it was really cool. I planned for if you guys tried to open it, but it wasn't necessary.
That
was kind of like an overall thing in my campaign. Is like I tend to plan for all of the loaded guns that I give you guys. I'm ready for them to be fired.
That's good.
There's tons of loaded guns that are all scattered across the ground and across the entire room, And I don't know which one you guys are gonna pick up and point at your face and pull the trigger, but I pretty much am prepared for whichever one you do pick up. Usually.
That's fair enough. So you wrote this whole thing. Is it true what they say about like write the book you want to read, play the game you wanted, or create the game you want to play?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what would be your inspirations from outside of the D&D video or outside of the D&D world for your campaign? Anything that comes to mind?
Like literature types.
Literature, movies, fucking video games, books.
Okay.
I guess I already said literature. You have anything that stands out for because I know it's based off some history, right? Like if you look at Gatsun, it's more of like a Eastern Eastern Asian type thing, right?
I tend to like pull a lot of mythology and things. So like Aswang, the Sorrower.
Great example.
I took a old Filipino folklore legend about a creature known as the Aswang, which kind of like would take women and their children and would like eat them and stuff like that, and invade their dreams and the shadows and things like that. So it wasn't like a one-to-one pull, but I wanted to have that same sort of vibe to it. This like weird, amorphous, almost human-looking, uncanny valley type of creature that is in this swamp that feels very strange and mysterious.
Yeah.
I definitely look around for a lot of things like that. I wouldn't say there's one specific or even any glaring things that I take from. Just kind of like a mishmash of all different things that I maybe even don't even know that I'm taking from. Just kind of things in my head.
Oh, you mean like Dementors from Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Yeah, where somebody might just write something like that into their campaign, and everybody would call it a Dementor, and then I'd have to go watch the entire fucking Harry Potter series to see what I stole from.
This sounds like it's coming from a personal place.
It is. Do you remember when that thing sucked the damage out of the legs, and you guys are like, "Oh, it's a fucking Dementor." I'm like, "No, it's a super cool shadow creature that steals stuff." And you're like, "Yeah, Dementor." I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know what a Dementor is." So I went and watched the entire fucking Harry Potter series to figure it out.
Yeah.
Didn't know I was stealing from it, but I was. That's alright.
Yeah, I've definitely subconsciously taken from a lot of media sources, most likely. But I wouldn't say there's one in particular that I have taken from.
That's cool. Yeah.
Although, actually, so one that I will say that I definitely know I took from is Aragon. In that dragons inherently have magic to them, which is not a thing that Aragon made up. I mean,
I thought it was just a normal thing, right?
But Aragon specifically has it so that like dragons can imprint on people and grant them magic, and also like the ability for dragons to like bond with somebody and like kind of share their soul.
So like Rowan's patron.
Yeah, so like kind of like Rowan's patron, and also just like the idea of being able to pass magic on, which is a thing that happened with Kraven onto Cylon.
That's really cool. Yeah. Does D&D have... It's kind of a big question here. Because I can see both sides of it, but I think there's actually an answer here. Does D&D have more value beyond just entertainment?
I think so. I think D&D is a good way to socialize, one. It can make you more comfortable talking to people and kind of being strange and acting weird. So a lot of people are kind of thrown off by the whole roleplay aspect, but I feel like if you're comfortable enough to play someone else, then you're comfortable enough to play yourself too, in some ways.
Yeah, no, I see that.
It can help you, I mean, a lot of people can help work through issues that they have with themselves. They can create characters that maybe have a character flaw that they're not comfortable with themselves with, and then work through it in an imaginary world where it's safer rather than in the real world.
Right. Yeah, no, I think I completely agree there. It's it's also a stress release. I think you kind of mentioned various parts of that, but like I know after a long week, I'll come back on Thursday and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm glad this is happening, because it's like 4 hours that I can sit there and just not think about fucking all the shit going on in 2020, and we can just vibe together and have fun. So I think there is a lot of value to it. I agree with you. Yeah. But we are getting close to the timer. 2020 is over. 2021 is here. What are your
Yes.
hopes for this year? Any aspect you want to talk about. If you want to talk about video games, where do you want to be at the beginning of 2022? Or are you good where you're at? Nothing wrong with that?
I would like to get back in shape and go to the gym again. I have started doing that.
Yeah.
It's been really shitty not being able to work out and stay in shape. I have started to go again, so that's good. But
That's cool.
I really miss breweries.
Oh, I bet.
I miss like going places and just like hanging out and getting to drink and not have to worry about dying. I was supposed to have a really good ski season this year, and it's been pouring snow, and I haven't really been able to go skiing because of all the restrictions on traveling and things like that.
God, I know. It seems
And I even bought an Epic Pass, so I could like ski unlimited for this whole season, and it just has gone to waste.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know. Other things, I hope I get a fucking raise. my company staved off all raises for the previous year because of COVID.
Oh god, I hope that means like a big one comes back though.
Yeah, because I got a whole new position at work that has a lot more responsibility, and I just didn't see 1 cent of pay change.
That's crazy. Are you in a place where you can like go there and be like, hey, look, I'm working way fucking harder. Can you give me a raise?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the problem, my boss would absolutely give me a raise. The problem is that like the whole company has said no one has any pay changes for this whole year.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, I hope that when things do calm down, I hope that they kind of look at who changed positions and be like, all right, Chris fucking needs a kicker here or something.
Hey man, if they don't, then I could just be like, I quit because I'm the only one that does my job right now.
Oh no, that's huge actually. That's a good bartering chip, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nobody else in the entire company does my job, so
that's super cool.
Yeah, they kind of need me right now.
That's super cool. Gaming in 2021. What year are we in? 2021. Are you looking to keep the campaign going? Are you trying to branch out and do something different D&D related, or?
I'd say the campaign is reaching its final act, like you said.
Yeah.
Where we're kind of in that season 3, quote unquote. We definitely have gotten to the point where we're all like, shit. This is like end game stuff.
Yeah.
This is like world changing, reality altering stuff that's going on. So it still will probably go on for a while. I don't think you guys necessarily have a dearth for things to do, but definitely coming towards an end, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. Obviously, we probably don't have a plan for what goes on after, but is D&D something you're looking to keep doing for a while, or are you feeling like this is where you've kind of accomplished what you wanted to in the field? I mean, it's got to be huge to have like a story come to a conclusion like it is right now. Interactive story, I mean.
No, I love D&D. It is probably my favorite game of all time. If you had to ask me like what my favorite game is, and I wouldn't be able to tell you video game wise, but just overall, D&D is my favorite, hands down.
Yeah, I think
it has everything.
Agree there.
So yeah, I would definitely continue after this, a second campaign if everybody still wants to play. And most likely I would do a time skip into the next era. So right now we're in the 3rd era of Madragon. Possibly open up some other continents, other things like that. But yeah, probably move into the 4th era.
That's really cool.
The first era was the Time of Titans, second era was Meridian Magica, third era is the Fall of Magic, or the post-fall. So yeah, we would probably, for campaign 2, move into the 4th era.
That's really big. I mean, I always think about like what we haven't done, what we've, you know, what you could do to extend, not necessarily extend, just like create something different. And then I realize we've seen like 2 planes of existence, a very minor point of another plane. We don't even know if this is like the whole of the planet. Like we just know Madragon. So yeah. I mean, there's plenty of options. I guess we only know whatever, and obviously there's. I imagine filling the players would be completely simple if anybody did want to drop after this campaign. I think we'd have 0 issues doing so. Personal. One of the last questions, but personal question. Good, better, best. Jin, Trick, Adrid.
In what way? In like terms of backstory, in terms of how their character developed, in what way?
I feel like developed isn't exactly a fair one, because one developed into a pile of ash.
True.
If those were individual characters not related to your campaign.
Okay. I'm gonna say good Trick, better Adrid, best Jin.
Oh, you like Jin more than Adrid?
I think that Jin is kind of like a more developed and well-rounded version of Adrid.
I think that's a completely fair correlation. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you put a lot more thought into how to play Jin, what to do with him, what he wants, what he desires, where he wants to accomplish the things that he wants to accomplish, and then like having him think more in depthly of how he can do it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Adrid was great. Absolutely.
Adrid was one of the first.
A lot of fun.
I mean, I would consider him the second character that I ever took seriously, like when I was creating, because obvious. I mean, I don't know if he'd probably be the first, because Alton was a fucking. He was a sleazy rogue with a STD. Like, that was the whole background. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love playing those types of characters and stuff, but I feel like obviously it's overdone, and yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that's cool.
You definitely took me by surprise when you decided to play a wizard. I didn't expect that.
Really, even with the time stuff.
Yeah,
it kind of branches away from the typical wizard stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But I always thought that you wanted to be more martial, especially with rogue stuff. I thought that Warlock was kind of like your step out of your comfort zone, and then you're like, this is alright, and then you wanted to go back to Rogue and just stay there.
I did. You're completely right about that, which is why I went back to Trick, and then Trick died. And fucking somebody told me, I'm not going to drop any names here, but they're watching. Somebody told me that Trick was just like a buffer character, so I could figure out what I wanted to do after him. He wasn't. He was a fully fleshed out character with one horrible design aspect. That was not my fault. It was just poorly written. No,
I thought he went out in a great way.
He did. It's just I wish some of that character background stuff could have been explored. It was a very personal story in terms of like what I wanted to write, but it was also, I had the idea that we were getting close to the end of the material stuff, and I was like, we know that stuff's happening, that we need to find a way to either keep this going or branch off into something that's not Madrigon, because we've seen all of Hydal, most of Ymar, some of Arkham. Actually, we hadn't seen Arkham at the time. And so I was like, if Trick lasts a long time, one of the end game things we can do is track down the shit that goes on in the Feywilds, and that can kind of, stretch it from level 20 to 23, whatever, however long it does, and that gives Chris a whole new world to write and yada yada. So I was trying to do like some sort of branching thing there, and then I realized that we don't need it, first of all. Yeah. And then Trick just fizzled out the way he did, in a pile of dust and ash and sorrow.
Yeah. I don't want my players to ever think that they need to make content for me, because
that's fair.
I feel like I have plenty for them to do. I understand that they want to, like, you guys want to help and you want to try to lighten the load on me, but I definitely have plenty of stuff for you guys to do, so I don't ever want that burden to fall on you guys.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. We are.
And then also,
yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to say.
No, go for it.
You had a very good chance of having Trick live too. It was very unfortunate that he died.
Really?
Because it was a deck save. If you passed the deck save, then Disintegrate is all or nothing. So if you passed it, you would have taken no damage. You failed it, so you instantly died. If you passed it, you guys could have just like booked it the fuck out, because he's a giant dragon, and you guys could have gone through Tiny Tunnel.
True.
But yeah, you guys definitely had a chance to escape.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a completely different story at this point, I think, otherwise.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we would have survived with Trick, honestly. He does not have the utility that Jin has.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I guess you kind of scale things to our ability, so maybe with Trick the enemies would have been a little less so.
Maybe.
Who knows? Another world, another timeline. Not this one. For now, at least. We'll see what happens. But
it's already been an hour. Jeez.
Yeah, that is 59 minutes and 5 seconds. So we're gonna end this with the last question of where can people get more of you? This is where I get myself plugged for free.
Yeah. So I will do a extremely scuffed Twitch stream every once in a blue moon.
Fuck yeah.
I guess you could find me over at twitch.tv/NoPantsChris if I do ever stream, which is not very much, if at all. But other than that, you can find me right here on twitch.tv/TripodFay every Thursday at 4:30 PST or 7:30 EST, where I DM a Dungeons and Dragons game called The Natural Ones.
Natural Ones. And I mean, pretty much every other fucking day too when we play games and shit. So
yeah, I'm around.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, Chris, I want to thank you for showing up. I do appreciate it on short notice because my other guest decided to have a fucking birthday.
Inconsiderate.